pretty and wild and wild.
We still need a theme song.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
We're going to start our theme song right now. We're
terrible
creating it.
Hello,
Creating it
everybody.
currently.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, if anyone is super talented and passionate about music,
Make us a theme song.
make us a little intro song.
Give us a diddly.
I think it's, is it Diddy or Diddley?
I don't know. What does diddly mean?
Like diddly
Squat?
squat?
Oh,
I mean,
Whatever.
it could be a diddly.
I think it's
a melody.
diddy, but a melody. We'll go with that.
A tune.
Give us a theme
A
song.
jingle.
A jingle jingle.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Left track.
We are here. I'm getting really red because of this wine I'm drinking.
It happens.
She went
Hey,
in my
Amanda.
eyes.
So we are here to talk about your passion.
Pursuing that passion, boo.
Pursuing it, finding it, loving it, embracing it.
Do it. Do it.
Bring
Doing
it.
it all.
Okay. Hey, Tara. So we wanted to talk to you guys about that and all that really fun stuff that goes along with it and how to find your passion. Because I feel like sometimes we get caught up in the day-to-day grind and we don't really take the time to not so much fill our cup, but also really find what sets our soul on fire.
Yeah.
And what really lights us up.
Or
And-
just ignoring it and not
Right.
Not
giving
And
it
like
life.
being aware of what makes you happy or
Right.
what like really lights you up, but then not pursuing it. So we're here to talk about it.
Yeah, because I think it's really important. I think that we are made to live creative and passionate lives. And we were just talking about this earlier about how like we have one life. And I was just thinking this morning, I was driving home from Madison and I was driving and thinking about all of these things that it's like, oh, like I would love to do that, but almost thinking about it and talking to myself about it as if in another life I would have loved to learn how to speak French. In another life I would love to do street art. But then it was like, no, like this is it. And why wouldn't I just do it? Like why wouldn't I just do these things that intrigue me?
Right. And I loved how, were you going to talk about how we just like, are we going to get to that later? About like just taking a little bit of time?
Oh, I think we'll talk
We're going to
about
get that to that later. Okay.
Sorry.
And for me, something similar that I always think about is like you just see all these like really sad stories on the news and you hear of all these horrible things that happen all over the world. And to me, it's always really like it's like a reality check almost where I think I could, like my soul could have easily been put in a body that was living in like a third world country and I could have not received the blessings that I have. I could not be living in this country and living in a place where not only can women have jobs or speak in public or show their face, like we're living in a place that is so glorious and so amazing when it comes to what you have the opportunity to do. You could have so easily been born into a life or a family or a situation that makes those things impossible. So when you take that for granted and you don't, I don't know, take advantage of what you are really passionate about and you don't chase those things and you don't take time to develop creatively and that kind of thing, it's
You're wasting it.
you're wasting it.
And it's kind of like a slap in the face, I feel like,
Right.
to like God and the universe to just be like, meh.
Right.
And
You put me in
everyone
this
else
awesome
and
place
yourself,
with
yeah.
these talents and this creativity and this passion and now I'm just gonna squander it.
Yeah.
So to me, that's always my reality check is like, and it's kind of my kick in the butt that like wakes me up every day is like, I am so blessed to have the ability to do these things. If I choose not to, that's like Chloe said, like a slap in the face to God and the creator who put me in this situation to do something with it.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about taking advantage of what you're passionate about and finding what you're passionate about.
And I think that, I mean, we all kind of know, or maybe know subconsciously, like what we're passionate about, like the things that we find ourselves thinking about and daydreaming about, the things that excite us and like set our souls on fire. I mean, I think that you know those things. Maybe.
Yeah, what are you talking about? What are you thinking about? What are you searching for? What
Right.
do you look up on Pinterest or
Well, yeah,
Instagram?
I think Like that, it can be that simple. Like, what do you gravitate towards when you're on social media? Like, what do you gravitate towards in other people? What do you find yourself reading? What do you find yourself watching on TV? Like, those things can so obviously be your passion. And it can be pretty obvious, but then again, it can be so obvious that we ignore it.
Right.
Where you can just be like, oh, I really enjoy cooking. I love cooking for my family, and that could totally turn into something that you take cooking classes, or you spend time cooking for your friends and your family, or I think you mentioned like have a dinner party. And
or
just share
start
your
a blog
passion
and like share recipes or
so it's things that you like Chloe
you said,
was
it can
saying.
even be obvious that you just that you just ignore
You're
it or
not
you
thinking
don't.
that's worthy of the word passion.
Yeah.
Or,
I think that's really important. Like thinking that it's not worthy enough to like be a passion,
or it
'cause it's
doesn't
not-
look like someone else's. I think I was reading when we were kind of looking up stuff to talk about, like some stuff by Mark Manson, and he was talking about like when you were a kid, like what you just did, like I play baseball because it's fun, and if you didn't like baseball anymore, you just dropped it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you didn't worry about like if
Does
I mean,
anyone
yeah,
else
I
like
mean,
this?
sometimes you were like, oh, my friends are playing baseball, cool, I'm gonna do
Right.
that. But like you just did it because you wanted to, or he was talking about like looking for bugs. Like, did you worry about if anyone else was looking for bugs?
No one
you
else
just-
likes looking
You just
for
look
bugs.
for bugs.
You just did
You saying that really like reinforces like my passion for like marketing and sales, and like it, like you can I think back to I was probably, oh my gosh, like 8 or 9, and my mom was on a trip, and it was just me and my dad and my brother, and I don't even really remember my brother being in the story, but anyways, I came across my mom's wedding dress, and it was about around like Halloween time, and I cut up the satin lining of her dress and made little like ghosts. So I like stuffed the ghosts with like leaves and like stuff, and then made little ghosts and drew little faces on it, and took my little toy shopping cart. Like I remember this toy shopping cart like no other, and parked it down at the curb by our mailbox and sold these little ghosts for like 50 cents.
Yeah.
And
Get it, girl.
my parents live in a like vacation. They live in Rome, and if you know where that is, like it's more of like a vacation-y like summer place, so very few people live year round, and this was obviously around Halloween time, so there was no one bought these little ghosts. My dad came and bought all these ghosts from me and hung them in a tree in our yard, and like it's so funny, but that just shows like my passion was always creating and making and sharing and like marketing, and
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't successful when I was 9 or 10,
Apparently
but like that
particular endeavor wasn't super successful.
right, but like Hannah was saying, like they're things that you have always loved. They're things that you, if you think back to your childhood,
well, and I think
you might
those
enjoy.
things like it's not happenstance. The things that you love and that you're passionate about, like there's a reason and a purpose behind those things, like no matter what it is. So I think that's another reason why it's important to pursue your passions.
100%.
And I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like, okay, I'm passionate about this, I'm gonna quit my job and move across the world.
Right.
I mean, maybe you will. Maybe that's
Exactly where it's going to take you.
But I think there's room in our lives to, what's the word I'm
like
looking for?
evolve,
Yeah,
change.
and to like,
Not the right word.
not the right word.
Discover your passion.
And like, there's room in your life
Yes.
to pursue these things that you're passionate about.
Yes. 100%. I agree.
I feel like you're trying to. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's not the word I was looking for, but it works. That's the
It's a word.
roundabout. It works.
It worked.
So yeah, I think part of it is just getting started. Like we were talking about, like maybe your passion is cooking, so maybe it is like hosting a dinner party, or maybe you're really into acting and you join community theater, or
Are you trying to like? Or you're really into? I see. Okay, so I saw
stuck on
Chelsea's
that
name.
part.
Like she's super into fitness and health, and like she started getting really healthy, and all of a sudden now it's transformed into her having her own business, helping other people reach their fitness goals. Like it can be, you can take it a step further and make time for your passion. And whether you monetize that or like we said, like with the cooking example, and you just have dinner parties at your house, like, or you're entertaining or party planning and you help your friends plan baby showers and wedding showers and whatever. You can turn it into anything, and you can really take that avenue and make it like a priority in your life.
And I know Pam, our mom, Hannah's mom, she does cakes. She's been doing that since we were little kids, with like birthday cakes. I think she started, but
My birthday cake.
Your
It was
birthday
bear cake.
Okay, it was yours. It was a bear cake.
Hashtag bear cake.
She was recently talking about someone. Oh, I did not plan to say this, so now I'm kind of throwing it all together. But they were talking about like the business side of things of cakes, but they were like basically saying like play and like make mistakes and like maybe you'll find an avenue even in that. Like you never know. I mean, don't be afraid to like mess around or just do it for fun. Like you don't have to set out and be like, I'm gonna find my passion and then I'm gonna make it a full-time business and I'm gonna like make all this money and be successful. Like that doesn't have to be what it is.
And this is it, and that's how it's going to be for the rest of my life, which we had kind of talked about too before. Just about how like your passions can evolve and like lead to other things that you're passionate about. And like I had started out when I started doing photography, it really was. I had Eden, and I had always liked taking pictures. I took photo classes in high school, but it wasn't like, I'm going to make a career out of this. I just really liked doing it. And so when Eden was born, I was like, oh, I'm going to buy a nicer camera just because I know I'm going to want to take pictures of her. And then pretty soon it was people, will you take pictures? Like my friends, will you take pictures of my kids? Sure. And then my brother got married, and I shot their wedding just to do it. They're like, oh, will you just take some pictures? Sure. And then all of a sudden it was strangers calling me like, will you take pictures at my wedding? And then that evolved too, and I found, because I still love weddings, but then I found boudoir, and like that's what, like every time that I do it, it's like one of those situations where you're just like, holy crap, this is it. Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This like fulfills me so much. And then like the other person too, it's like, it's insane.
Right.
It's like a gift you give to them too.
Yeah,
but I feel like that's a really great example, like you said, Chloe, of it evolving and just kind of like going with the flow and being open to it evolving. For me, I look back and I think about like my professional career, like in the fitness industry. It started by me being like, I really love working out. I love my own fitness journey. I'm sorry, my dog, I locked him up and he somehow escaped and just walked through by my feet. So I apologize for that face and now the puppy running in the house. But anyways, it started by me wanting to get healthier. I started working out. I moved away, went to another city. I applied for a job for a managerial position, and it didn't even say in the ad what the business was, and I ended up at a Snap Fitness and got the job managing a Snap Fitness, and that led to like I moved back home after a year or so, and I actually went into Anytime Fitness here in town and wanted to pay someone to be my personal trainer, and was offered a job, and it just grew, and it just grew, and all of a sudden I'm a trainer, and then all of a sudden I'm managing the training program, and then I'm managing the gym, and now I manage the district. So it's like that passion grew into something that now I've been doing for a decade, and you just have to let it evolve, and it'll go with you, and just follow that passion. Like it doesn't matter where you are. If you're rooted somewhere, fabulous. It can open doors, and even if you're moving around, your passion can always kind of help you find a home no matter where you are. Because like I moved multiple times since I was in this industry, and every time that's been like my grounding factor. Like that's where I find friends, it's where I find a sense of family, of home. And so your passion can it can open so many more doors than you could ever imagine. So you have to be open to that happening.
I think about for me right now, it's kind of like I've been doing what I've been doing for a little over a decade as well. And I still absolutely love what I do, and I'm kind of evolving that even right now, but I'm kind of at a place too where I feel like I want to be more passionate about what I'm doing or find something to add in to my life. Like I'm not really sure. It's basically time for me to explore some other things, and and find some more passion. So I'm kind of like talking to myself here a little bit with
Preach
this whole
at
video.
yourself.
Preaching to myself. So Chloe and I were actually kind of coming up with some ideas earlier, like when she said she was driving back from Madison this morning and thinking about all of these things that she's like, oh, that would be so cool to do. And then with the thought of like, why don't I just do it? And which kind of clicked for me again, because I feel like I'm at that launch point of like, where am I going to go next here? Mm-hmm. So we were kind of like, Chloe, do you want to share? Would you like to share with the group your ideas?
So now that I'm putting this out there, it's kind of like I actually have to do it too. So maybe this is a good thing. I was just thinking about doing maybe I haven't really thought about it too much. An experiment, like a project type thing, and basically take like one hobby or something that I'm really interested in and take a month for each of those things and really just pour myself into that and like really try to do it. So like maybe it's learning how to speak French, and so like during my free time for a month, if I have free time during the day, I'm gonna be learning how to speak French. Or maybe it's like doing embroidery, and that's what I'm gonna be doing during my free time while I'm watching Netflix. I'm gonna be working the embroidery hoop or something, and just, like I said, just spend a month like really exploring those things that interest me, and just, because when I leave this life, like I want to have done everything, I want to have done anything and everything that interests me. I don't want to like leave being like, well, that would have been nice to do in another life. That would have been cool.
And if it doesn't lead to some great success, like so what? You tried that for a month. Maybe it really will, and you'll be like, I want to continue this and keep doing that.
Right. And there's so many things, that I think about, and that could be options for people that I think we were talking about earlier, that it might be something that you're like, oh, well, maybe it's not going to be a job. Like maybe it's not going to be a career. Maybe it is just going to be something that you do just to fulfill yourself, because there's nothing wrong with having like a regular job. I think we're all pretty lucky here to be, having careers that really fulfill us and we are passionate about, but there's nothing wrong with having just a quote unquote regular job and then doing something else that you're passionate about. I have a good friend that she graduated with her bachelor's and she waitresses, and she's just, she loves it. Like she loves doing that. It pays her bills, and she's like, I have so much time. Like I can do what I want. Like I can be home with my kid, or I can travel. I can take time off to go to a concert. Like, so there's nothing wrong with that. And like, maybe it is just something that you do on the side. Maybe you have a blog, or if you like to write, maybe it's starting like a writer's workshop that meets once a month and you find other people in the community, or like I said, doing community theater or something like that.
Right.
And Jamie, I think my eyes
can't read
so
it.
bad.
She said travel. I honestly found the most peace and found out so much about myself when I left Thailand.
Yes.
Traveling is huge. Like we were saying, Chloe and I were saying earlier, like there's so many places on this earth. Like we all share this one like world, and like I want to see as much of it as possible. I do. I think that's
right.
Like she said, it's like you learn so much about yourself, and you're gonna experience so many other people and so many other things. And
and I think that too, like something like that with travel. So that's your passion, and I think a lot of times where it's like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to afford to. I would never be able to afford to take a trip to, like Bali or something. But it's like, no, like what you do then is you prioritize that.
Right.
You say, I'm going to save this much from every paycheck, and this is going to be my budget for the trip, and then you go and you do it.
Right.
Like there's no...
Or maybe you make your thing like, I'm going to be a $500 like budget traveler, and I'm going to see where I can go with that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, you got to be creative.
Yeah, and then blog about that. Like people love that. Travel blogs are huge.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
So I think a lot of times the only thing that's holding you back is you're either ignoring your passion or you think that it's not worthy of being your passion, or you're just making excuses, honestly, for why it wouldn't work or why you can't do it.
Donate plasma. Pam, great idea.
Yeah, Pam, donate plasma. Say Pam referred you because she's addicted to donating plasma.
She's addicted.
She never misses a plasma
But it
donation.
helps. It's helped make her passion.
But yeah, she wanted to go to this cake workshop in Alexandria. I couldn't remember. And so she was like, I'm going to donate plasma to save up for this trip. Like, she made it happen. That's what you do. You can figure it out. Get creative with it. Make time for
Get passionate about your passion.
Yeah. And I think, too, another point that I wanted to make is being grateful and being generous with your passion.
Very important.
I think being grateful, like we said, to like God and the universe for the opportunities that you have and the passions that you have. Like, I mean, it's pretty amazing that when you think about humans versus other animals and other living things in the world, like we have the ability to be passionate, and just like thinking about that is kind of insane. It's like, whoa, like we have that ability built into us to be passionate about something, to love something so much. And I think too, being grateful to like people that inspire you or are mentoring you, because I can't tell you how awesome it is when I post a picture or something, or I share something from my life, or even this group, and then people will like say like, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that. Like that makes me feel great. And I know that times that I've done that to people that inspire me, they're like, oh my gosh, really? Like, thank you so much. So I think it's like being grateful and then being generous too with it, sharing your passion with other people and teaching other people, bringing other people into that, networking.
I love that.
powerful.
Yes. Like once you find your passion and you know what you love to do and you know what like sets your heart on fire, sharing that with other people and like Chloe said, like teaching or just using that as a platform and like a launching pad to like helping others and being grateful and sharing that with the world, I think is so important. And I think we kind of downplay like the sense of like purpose you can get from those things, from sharing it with the world or with
even just talking about it with other people.
And like educating others and helping others and improving others' lives with something like that brings such a purpose. Because like I think back to when I was in school, I went to school for business, and right when the semester was ending is when I started like my makeup journey with Unique, and that was just me being open and kind of saying like, okay, I'm going to take this leap, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to join this and start this business, and I'm going to see where it takes me, and kind of like Chloe's planning on doing with like speaking French. If nothing happens with it and I decide I don't really like it, then that's totally fine. But now 2.5 years later, it's led to like what I do when I'm not working at my day job. It's like who I am. Like it's what, like how people recognize me. It's like I get to share that and help others through that and help other people have more confidence and see their beauty through that. So again, I think it's just a perfect example of like being open and then sharing it with others.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Love it.
being grateful,
Love
being generous.
Good deal.
So to wrap it
Do we have
up,
anything else to talk about? I think that was.
To wrap it
I
up.
think we got it
I think
about
we
all.
got it all.
Yeah.
Find what sets your soul on fire. Okay, so explore those things that you have always found interesting, that you've always enjoyed doing, and take time for that. So whether
Yeah,
it's
make time for
joining a sports team because you really liked playing
yeah.
sports as a kid, or whether it's taking cooking classes and hosting dinner parties, or if it's
Starting a garage band.
starting a
Do it.
garage band,
Start that garage band. I'll come
or
to your show.
starting a blog about something that you're super passionate about, or joining or
Starting
making
a
like
book club.
creating or starting a business or
Yeah.
whatever. There's so many ideas for how you can channel the passion that you find or what you find your passion is. And then share it with the world.
Yeah.
Y'all, share it with everyone. Okay? So don't be shy about your passion.
And then share.
Care and then share.
Care for it.
Care for
share.
it. I love that. That's such a good
Yeah.
tagline. We should just like ended it with that.
Hashtag care
So,
for it. Share it.
We are going to kind of use this like passion discussion as a launch pad for so many other fun discussions to come.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
And also tell us
So
what
you got a
your
week to
passions
figure
are.
your passion out.
You
Just
got
kidding.
maybe less than 1 week because
Because you should share with us and everyone.
yeah.
What is your passion?
What you
We'll make a
passionate
thread.
about? Yeah.
Let's make a thread and be like,
Yeah.
what are your interests / passions? And we'll take it from
No
there.
matter how big or how small.
That's
your
right.
purpose.
All right, so get ready. We'll post the
Okay.
thread shortly.
Bye,
Bye.